Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Saturday evening, September 14, 2024. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak of Atlantic hurricane season, that's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your coworkers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Leave a comment down below, letting me know what the has been like here recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future, though they're in your specific area. Alright, so let's just take a look at the US National Hurricane Center 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook. And we can see that as of their latest update that just came out at 7:18 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is actually 6:18 p.m. Jamaica time, we still have Tropical Storm Gordon across the northern portions of the main development region. And we still have that area of disturbed weather off the southeast coast of the United States that still has a 50% chance of cyclone formation within the next 7 days. And it's expected to move towards the northwest into portions of South Carolina as well as North Carolina, maybe eventually Virginia, with some amount of rainfall. So, regardless of development, it's definitely going to be bringing some flash flooding concern. So if you have relatives or friends in those areas, please ensure that you contact them soon. However, as it relates to Gordon, we can see that it is still on the track to possibly weaken as it moves towards the west, back from a tropical storm as represented by the S down to a tropical depression. Then it is expected to curve towards the right to the north. Right now it's packing maximum sustained winds of 45 miles per hour, moving west at 9 miles per hour. So it will continuously be a fish storm, basically affecting the fish, the marine life, or whatever ships or boats are out there. If we take a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can see that we still have that frontal system across the waters of the southwestern Atlantic, all the way up into the northern portion of the North Atlantic, stretching into portions of Florida still. We can also see that we have Gordon right here by the tropical storm symbol, a tropical wave across the eastern Caribbean, and there's actually a tropical wave that's right there to the east of Jamaica. But if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can actually make out these entities. The clouds associated with the frontal system still bring some bad weather to portions of Florida. You can also still see the clouds associated with what's left of Francine across portions of the south central United States. There are some clouds associated with the tropical wave to the east of Jamaica, but it is not anything that robust. But you could definitely be affected by some of the clouds tomorrow. You can also see the clouds associated with that other tropical wave, a lot more moisture to the southern portion of the main development region associated with the intertropical convergence. So that's where the winds or the low level flow from the northern hemisphere meets the low level flow from the southern hemisphere, and that causes a lot of rising air, so more showers and thunderstorms across those areas. And you can also see the clouds associated with Gordon right here. Most of the circulation off to the west, kind of naked because of the wind shear, pushing most of the thunderstorms off towards the east, as we can see right there. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean weather later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Saturday, September 14, 2024. It was stated that some morning rainfall would have affected portions of eastern Jamaica and then spilling into portions of central and western Jamaica during Saturday afternoon. And just for reference, we know Western Jamaica, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall, like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth. Central Jamaica, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Middlesex, like St. Anne, St. Mary, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine. While Eastern Jamaica, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey, like Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrew. And what ended up happening? We woke up to the infrared satellite image posted here on our Twitter page at around 5:05 a.m., highlighting the clouds, bringing overcast skies and some rainfall to portions of eastern Jamaica as expected. Mainly St. Thomas and Portland were getting in on those early morning showers, And by the way, keep in mind that if you'd like to see more posts like this, just visit our Twitter page at Weather Jamaica, or our Instagram page at Weather.Jamaica, or TikTok page at Weather Jamaica, and our Facebook page at Weather Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there as we make posts throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. And then another post was made here on our Twitter page at 2:35 p.m. at around 2:35 p.m. highlighting the visible satellite image. And we can definitely see the sparkling yellow dots that we know represent some amount of lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes at the time. At this time, we saw most of the thunderstorms right there across southeastern St. Mary, southwestern Portland, northern St. Andrew, sections of Hanover, Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth getting another thunderstorms as well. Even portions of northern Jamaica, like western St. Anne, portion of Trelawney, getting in on some of the thunderstorm activity too. And then another post was made at around 5:15 p.m. highlighting the infrared satellite image. We know the infrared satellite images show the high cold cloud tops representing the cumulonimbus clouds. Now we know represented by the blues, greens, yellows, oranges, reds, even the blacks, and we can see the sparkling white dots on this image that will now represent the lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes. I would definitely add the thunderstorm activity right there across southwestern St. Anne, southeastern Trelawney, portions of Manchester, St. Elizabeth, and Westmoreland for sure at that time. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of Jamaica before the sun went down, we can definitely see that low level flow from the east across the island. And then as those clouds became thunderstorm clouds or cumulonimbus clouds up in the upper levels of the atmosphere, we saw the upper level wind shear blowing those high cold clouds up still off towards the southwest as it has been for the past week. And we can see it all even better on the latest infrared satellite images. As a matter of fact, the latest image is kind of showing that we still are experiencing some thunderstorms across portions of the waters to the southwest of the island. Either way, we definitely had some confirmation from some of our followers here today on our Facebook page. Sylvia Bando stating rain a few times since morning. Very much overcast now with lightning and thunder in St. Anne. And Shawnee Reynolds confirming the rainfall in her portion of St. Andrew. However, if we take a look at See Jamaica's YouTube channel showing the live stream of Halfway Tree at around 3:55 p.m. today, the corporate area didn't receive much in the way of rainfall at all. Definitely dry conditions at Halfway Tree for sure. Didn't see much taking place on the Barbican camera or the Crossroads camera either. And if we take a look here at the accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours from the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website, this map does indeed paint a picture of where we had the rainfall. Across eastern Jamaica, that was for the morning, just as we saw in the infrared satellite images, and across northern St. Andrews, western Portland, southeastern St. Mary, section of St. Anne, Trelawney, St. James, sections of St. Elizabeth, Hanover, and Westmoreland for sure. And if we take a look at the very latest infrared satellite image that just came out at 15 minutes past the hour, so this one just came out at 7:15 p.m. Jamaica time. Keep in mind that the time is now 7:28 p.m. So we can see the thunderstorms right there out to the southwest of the island. Some of these clouds still onshore. On top of that, as a matter of fact, we can also see some isolated thunderstorms to the north of St. James and Trelawney too. And if we take a look at the latest Cuban Doppler radar image, this is the latest image that just came out at 8:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 7:10 p.m. Jamaica time. And we can definitely make out the rainfall right there to the north of Trelawney, to the north of St. James. Some of this rainfall just right there off the coast of Hanover and St. James might be affecting some of the coastal regions as we speak. We can also see some rainfall across portions of coastal south portions of Westmoreland, sections of St. Elizabeth as well, getting in some of the rainfall. You can also see the greens and the yellows within those greens that represent some moderate to heavy rainfall right there to the south and west of Westmoreland and St. Elizabeth for sure. The rest of the island definitely fair as we speak. If we take a look at the Guantanamo Bay Cuban military radar, all week we've been experiencing some afternoon to evening rainfall across portions of southeastern Cuba, as well as sections of western Haiti, as we can see right here. As it relates to what's happening on the Cayman radar, we can make out that rainfall that we just saw on the Cuban radar right there to the south and west of Westmoreland and St. Elizabeth. And we can also see some dots of greens that represent some isolated shores in and around the Cayman Islands, more so to the north and west of there, as well as to the far southeast of there. And if we take a look at the latest live cam from See Jamaica's YouTube channel, showing the live stream of Flatbridge, not much taking place. Water definitely rushing for sure to signify that we did indeed get in on some rainfall to cause the river to kind of act up earlier today. It wasn't rushing to that effect. As a matter of fact, if we can look closely, we can see some sort of branch and the water isn't even rushing like that at all. Definitely still at around 2:39 p.m. But as we had the afternoon rainfall up into the hills, it definitely acted up the water, as you can see here, rushing by underneath the roadway. By the way, keep in mind that if you'd like to see more live streams like this, you can visit See Jamaica's YouTube channel, subscribe to their channel. They have live streams of Barbican, Halfway Tree Crossroads, the Kingston Harbor, the Panoramic View. So if you'd like to see more of that, subscribe from now. If we take a look at the temperatures right now, we can see about 27 degrees Celsius in both Montego Bay and Kingston. And by about 4 a.m. on Sunday, temperature should dip down to about 25 degrees Celsius in both Montego Bay and Kingston. Taking a look here at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, this map from the GFS is showing 18Z on Sunday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Sunday. And we can see Jamaica right here embedded in some orange colors. That represents all the way up to maybe close to 3 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures. And we know the normal temperatures for the month of September across Jamaica are close to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. When calculated, 90 degrees Fahrenheit is about the same as 32.2 degrees Celsius. So we should be receiving anywhere from 32 to maybe 35 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on Sunday. So please ensure that you try your very best to beat the heat. Stay indoors, be cool, stay under a fan or AC. Try your very best to dress down. Please ensure that you drink more water than normal, more than drinks. Also, eat more fresh fruits, apples, grapes, you name it. If we take a look here at the Saharan dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Sunday, we can see that Jamaica right here should be in the clear. As a matter of fact, most of the Caribbean, into the Western Caribbean, Central America, the United States, South America should be in the clear. The Saharan dust is right there across portion of the Eastern Caribbean, as you can see, as represented by the brown colors across the Leeward Islands and into portions of the Northern Windward Islands. But it's not that vigorous plume like what we see closer to Africa with those darker shades. We know the vigorous plume is what causes the very hazy skies, not to mention triggers some amount of respiratory illnesses, asthma, sinusitis in some persons. And we're indeed grateful that the Saharan dust has been dwindling the more west it goes. Eventually this could make it to the Western Caribbean, but by that time most of the effect has gone down, and we're grateful for that. If we take a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, it makes sense that the highest waves, as represented by the purples and the burgundies within those purples, are across those areas that the Hurricane Center is watching, near Garden right here across the northern portions of the main development region, as well as off the southeastern United States coast right there, where we have the frontal system trying to get its act together to move inland into the southeastern US. While the rest of the basin, from the Gulf of Mexico into the Western Caribbean to the Central and Eastern Caribbean, getting in on those lighter shades of blues to darker shades of blues that are representing anywhere from 0.5 meter wave height all the way up to 1.5 meter wave height. And that's because the winds are going to be strongest where the frontal system and garden are. As you can see, the yellows, the gold, the burgundy, that represents anywhere from 25 knot winds all the way up to maybe close to 35, maybe 40 knot winds. We can see that we definitely have 2 areas of spin right there, areas of low pressure for sure. While the rest of the Caribbean should be getting on those blues, those dull to bright greens, that represent anywhere from 5 to 10 to 15 knot winds. And we can see the general flow across the Caribbean coming in from the east, kind of curving northward across the Central Caribbean. But we see it is more generally from the east for the most part across the Caribbean. But as relates to the close-up of Jamaica, we can definitely see that the winds are going to be coming in more so from the east southeast tomorrow. Look at the flow right there, coming in from the east southeast, definitely going to be piling up all of that air across western and northern Jamaica for sure. That's where all of the air is going to be piling up. So all of those low level clouds are going to be coming, mid level rain clouds, if not upper level cumulonimbus clouds for sure. So look out for that afternoon rainfall if you're living in a northern parish like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, section of St. Mary might getting on the action too. And keep in mind that whatever comes off of the sea from the east southeast could possibly affect those areas right here across the eastern portion of the island. And if we take a look at the rainfall forecast now, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both valid for 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 6 a.m. Jamaica time. And look at what we see on both the Euro and the GFS models. Some blues that represent rainfall in and around the island. The Euro showing more of the blues across western and northern waters of the island, as well as portion of eastern, maybe southeastern portion of the island too. GFS not so much northern, but we do see a lot of the blues that represent rainfall to the south of us, to the east of us, to the northeast of us as well. Some of this rainfall could definitely affect eastern Jamaica in the morning. That's where we see the consensus for sure. Maybe section of St. Thomas and Portland in the morning, early morning that is. Then by afternoon, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both valid for 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 3 p.m. Jamaica time. And we see that the GFS is making more sense than what the Euro is showing. Euro is showing more of the blues across eastern, central, and western Jamaica. That represents rainfall. The GFS is showing more of the blues across especially northern and western Jamaica. This is making more sense given the east southeasterly low level flow tomorrow. So look out for that rainfall for sure across portion of St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, section of St. Mary, section of western Portland, maybe northwestern St. Thomas, maybe even section of Kingston, St. Andrew, and northern St. Catherine. But we do see that there's a discrepancy. Don't see much taking place across majority of Clarendon, Manchester, or St. Catherine at all. Maybe northern portion of those parishes could get in on that rainfall. And we can also see that the accumulated precipitation forecast maps are in consensus that there's going to be some amount of rainfall somewhere across Jamaica within the next 24 hours. This map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 3 on Monday. When calculated, that's all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Sunday. And we can see the Euro showing all the way up to maybe 0.75 of an inch of rainfall, close to an inch in the red, as we can see right here across western Portland, southeastern St. Mary. GFS showing more of the reds across western Jamaica, maybe right there across western or northwestern St. Elizabeth. The waters to the north of Trelawney right there. Either way, there's gonna be rainfall somewhere across the island tomorrow. And we're indeed grateful because we really need these temperatures to go down. We know how hot it has been. And it has been quite, the norm in terms of the rainfall that's expected for the month of September. We're in our primary rainy season right now. In September, in Kingston, whose bar graph is shown right here at the top, we usually receive close to 100 millimeters of rainfall. That's almost 4 inches of rainfall. In Montego Bay, whose bar graph is shown here at the bottom, we usually receive close to 7 inches of rainfall. That's almost 175 millimeters of rainfall. By the way, keep in mind that you can visit weatherandclimate.com to find out about your specific parish's annual rainfall. And you can do the math yourself with the help of this graphic, considering that on the rain gauge, 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters of rainfall. So you can do the calculations yourself. Alright, so that is it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So as usual, we're still getting on the usual afternoon thunderstorms across portions of Cuba, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, portion of Central America getting on the thunderstorms as well, like Guatemala, Honduras, section of Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia, section of Venezuela. We can also see some moisture pushing in the portion of the Windward Island associated with the tropical wave. Areas like Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago, section of Barbados, section of maybe St. Lucia, St. Vincent. And if we take a look at the Doppler radar images to confirm what we're seeing across portion of the basin. First of all, the northeastern Caribbean is our first stop. We can see some greens that represent some hit or miss isolated shores in and around the Leeward Islands, to the east of Guadeloupe, in and around Antigua and Barbuda, to the north and south of St. Kitts, maybe to the south of St. Martin, in around and around the US Virgin Islands. We can also see some rainfall in and around Puerto Rico right there, western Puerto Rico, southeastern Puerto Rico. As a matter of fact, if we load these images from earlier today, we can definitely see that southeasterly flow, and we definitely had some rainfall across portions of northwestern Puerto Rico for sure today. And if we take a look at the Barbados radar, we can see a lot of the moisture even better associated with the tropical wave. Some of this rainfall coming into Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia for sure, section of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, even portion of Barbados still going to be getting on some isolated shores from the east. Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago definitely getting in on some of that rainfall even as we speak. And if we take a look at the wider view of Doppler radar images, we can see that rainfall even better on the Florida radar, sections of western Cuba, the Yucatan Peninsula, Honduras getting in on some rainfall as we speak, Colombia too, northeastern Venezuela, and even coastal areas of French Guyana. And as relates to where the rainfall is expected within the next 24 hours, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing where the rainfall is expected from now up until 3Z on Monday when calculated. That's all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Sunday. And we can see the rainfall as represented by what we see on the key on the right, the greens, the yellows, oranges, reds. The reds we know represents up to an inch of rainfall. The oranges, the gold represents anywhere from 0.3 of an inch all the way up to 0.75 of an inch of rainfall. The greens represent anywhere from 0.1 of an inch all the way up to 0.25 of an inch of rainfall. Let's just say wherever we see the greens and the yellows, we're going to be getting on some kind of isolated shower sometime throughout the day, maybe once or twice. The yellows, even more rainfall as well as the 1 inch, maybe some isolated flash flooding taking place. So there's definitely some rainfall in store for the areas that both the Euro and the GFS maps are showing the rainfall for on both maps. Like Florida, the Bahamas, section of Cuba. We can also see some rainfall in store for section of Jamaica. Not so much for the Cayman Islands. We see it on the Euro model, but not much on the GFS model for the Cayman Islands. Section of Haiti and the Dominican Republic for sure. Puerto Rico. We can also see some rainfall in store for areas in and around Guadeloupe, like Dominica, Martinique, section of St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, section of Barbados. It could be that rainfall that they're experiencing right now. Portions of Trinidad and Tobago as well. We can also see some rainfall in store for areas across northern South America like Guyana, sections of Venezuela, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, Belize, and the Yucatan Peninsula. And we know that when both maps from the Euro and the GFS maps are in consensus like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.